Welcome to Chapter 1, Section A of the Chemical Elements. I'm going to dive right into the launch article. I'm just going to read right from the launch article. Before the world accepted that atoms were the things that made up the universe, and this debate raged until the early 1900s. It's kind of surprising that it took this long for us humans to buy this idea that atoms make up everything. But before this, philosophers and scientists struggled with some difficult to explain, but actually rather mundane observations. And when I say these three observations, you're not going to be shocked or your mind's not going to be blown away. The interesting thing here is they eluded explanation until recently. So the first observation is the world is filled with a seemingly infinite number of different materials and substances. Again, you know this. Just look around your room. I'll look around my room. So I got cotton t-shirts, a plastic covering around this book made of paper, ceramic crucibles, a glass flask, plastic graduated cylinders. That's a fake plant, but plants, leaves, bark, and flowers are another interesting set of materials. I got hair, which is an interesting material. You got the idea. Lots of stuff around. Number two, substances can react and change into things completely different from what they are. So here's a really interesting example that makes this super clear. So if I give you a seed, which is a tiny little seed, dirt, water, and air, if I give you air, in 10 years or 20 years, you could have a huge 10 feet or 20 foot tree that came from air, dirt, water, and a tiny little seed. How can that happen? That's quite a change. And if you're to burn that tree, I don't recommend doing that. I discourage you from burning any tree. But if you were to do that, that tree would just disintegrate into a pile of black ash. So black ash comes from this beautiful tree, comes from dirt, water, and air, and a tiny little seed. Interesting set of transformations. Third, this third one kind of gives us some hope on finding a solution or finding explanations for all the matter around us. And that is patterns in the way substances behave or react are seen all over the place in nature, suggesting that there is some connection between different things. So there are patterns you can identify in how certain types of matter react or interact with other types of matter. So early thoughts in many civilizations around the world on what could relate all matter revolved around a basic set of four classical elements that combined in different ratios to produce everything we see. So with some variation, there was some variation across cultures, but these four basic elements were fire, wind, water, and earth. And alchemists believed that these were the fundamental basis of all matter. And therefore, by dialing up the amount or dialing down the amount of each of these four elements, so maybe I add a little more earth, maybe I take away earth, maybe I add some water, take away water, same with fire and air. If I just tweak these, I could change or transmute any substance into any other substance. Logically then, it's not a huge intellectual or mental leap to jump to this idea that, hey, maybe I could change lead, a cheap, plentiful metal, into gold, a valuable, rare metal. What if I could just tweak some earth or tweak some water, or tweak some fire, tweak some air, and take this cheap metal and make a very expensive, valuable metal? That'd be pretty cool. Other alchemists believed that they could concoct an elixir or like a magical potion to achieve eternal life, both very seductive possibilities. In pursuit of these goals, alchemists knew they needed to understand pure substances. They needed to be able to control the stuff they were working with. They recognized that there seemed to be some substances that are fully uniform. These are pure substances, while other materials have impurities mixed in. Trying to experiment with impure substances was messy and gave confusing results. However, alchemists couldn't just go to a lab supply store and purchase an ounce of something like pure potash, which is an ingredient of gunpowder, for example. So they couldn't just walk into a store, Walmart, Target, can't really do that today, and buy pure chemicals. So alchemists developed many clever methods that chemists still use today to isolate pure substances. Let's see if we can take a mixture of three substances, three different powders mixed together, and develop some techniques to isolate them into their three pure substances.